Hey everyone, and welcome out to Speed Racing Network, where we've got the biggest race of the season so far. We've got the cutoff race to get into the championship. My name is Sean Griffith. I am here with two-time Emmy Award nominee Greg Olenek. How's it going, Greg?
No, you got to stop that right now. It's going good. I'm excited. As everybody knows, this is my favorite track. It's a hard track for these guys to figure out, and it's a very important track for these guys to figure out. As we are at the cutoff of the round of 10, this is going to determine who our 5 guys are heading to that championship round to race for that big prize. We'll get to that in a second, but it's going to be a good one tonight.
Yeah, I've been excited all week long. We had a 2-week break, basically, for Thanksgiving and for some other stuff just to get away with the families. But now we're back, and, I mean, we jumped right into this incredibly important race, and people are on edge. It is going to be a blast out there.
Yeah, I mean, for those that forgot or didn't tune in, this is the last series we left off of because they had to do a makeup race at Talladega, which was awesome. It came down to the very end, as all the super speedways do, and Blair Holloman took the win there, and just great It was an awesome end to that race by 1,000th of a second, I believe, or I don't know what it was, but it was by a couple of inches. But now we're carrying that over into this race, and these guys are coming up again here, and it's going to be a big one tonight.
Well, if you've been living under a rock or you don't know what we are, 20 weeks, fixed setups, 1 fast repair here in the Truck Series. I'll give you a slight little hint. Next season, season number 3 of Speed Racing Network, that fast repair is going away. So yeah, get your fast repairs in now because you're not going to have them next season. But $300 first place for the playoff winner. We do have the team championship on the line. We'll talk about that in a second also. All sorts of fun here. But let's just jump straight into the race payouts.
Sean, I just want to mention that was not a hint. That was just you flat out telling them. So excited to see that. But yeah, as you see here, first place going to come away with $15. Second going to get $10. Third through fifth getting that entry fee back in their pockets to spend next week when we head to Atlanta for that big race. They're racing for this payout here on the season payout screen. Going to be $300 going to first place.
Yeah, $300 to first place, but we do pay out the top 8. So second place is going to get $150, third place is going to get $90, fourth place is $60, fifth place is going to get $40. Now those top 5, they're going to move on to next week, and they're going to be competing for those. The 5 that don't make it in to that top 5 are going to be competing for 6th, 7th, and 8th place for next week. So just because you're eliminated tonight doesn't mean you're out. You still got to win some money.
Yeah, it's just, great move by SRN and putting that in the rule book this year. It gives you guys a little extra to pay or race for in that last race. Some of these drivers might not be as enticed to show up, after being cut off, but this will give you a shot to still put a couple of those race entries back in your pocket and start saving up for next season. So awesome to see that this year.
But that's not the only thing on the line, Greg. Tonight we do have a special thing. It's the JBR Challenge, the Jonathan Byer Racing Challenge, brought to you by Glitch Energy, true energy for the true gamer. You can go to glitchenergy.com, use the promo code JBR10, get 10% off of your purchase. And the highest non-playoff finisher tonight is going to get one of their starter packs. And Greg, buddy, I love you, right? Congratulations on literally being nominated a second time for an Emmy Award. I am sending you a starter pack, so it should be in your mailbox here in about a week.
Oh, man, starting to get a little old. Just celebrated a birthday not too long ago, now 32, so I might need a little bit of energy to get me through the day. But, we're all gamers here, so why not check out Glitch? I've seen them all over, iRacing pages. I've seen them all over Facebook now, just because, Jonathan Byer has brought this to us, and now everyone has taken notice of what Glitch Energy is. So we do appreciate them coming on board for this race, and Jonathan Byer for setting all that up.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that starter pack in my mailbox because I got the Loopy Fruits flavor, which is supposed to taste like Fruit Loops, I suppose.
I think that fits you. You're a little loopy.
I'm a little loopy here tonight, man. I'm excited. It's time to get going. And what better way to have fun than to have a nice cold beer? So let's just jump right into the Beer Street Journal Beer of the Week. It's a good one this week, Greg. Let's see what it is. This week's Beer Street Journal Beer of the Week comes out of the world-famous Guinness family, so you know it's going to be good. With the holidays fast approaching, chocolate and mint are going to be two of the flavors on most people's lists. Well, Guinness decided to combine those flavors together and age them in Kentucky bourbon barrels to make Guinness Chocolate Mint Stout. Now, some people might not be fans of chocolate alcoholic beverages, but the way the chocolate and the mint interact with the bourbon character leads to something really special. It's the perfect beer to sip on after a solid meal with family and friends over the holidays. But if you're still not a fan, you might want to check out Guinness's Gingerbread Stout, which is also making its return this year. So don't miss out on Guinness Chocolate Mint Stout, available for a limited time. The Beer Street Journal Beer of the Week is sponsored by BeerStreetJournal.com, the leading online publication for craft beer reviews. Go to BeerStreetJournal.com to find your next great beer. And as always, you must be 21 to enjoy, and please drink responsibly. Yeah, that's right, the Chocolate Mint Stout brought to you by Guinness. Guinness is one of the biggest names in beer, man, so it's really good to see one of these big-name beer companies out there putting out a nice stout like that.
Yeah, I mean, I was born in Dover, Delaware, so it's not too far from Baltimore. I just love seeing that under the Guinness logo. But, you know, on our end, I can't hear what you're saying, but I just like what I'm seeing on the screen. And I told you right off the bat, I would 100% try this beer. And you know what? I'd probably only need 2 or 3 of them for the night, because you see that 10.8% alcohol by volume. She's hefty.
I mean, hey, that's the way to do it. But go and pick up some Chocolate Mint Stout by Guinness. And while you're doing that, we are going to talk about the team championship here, because we're coming down to that last week. It doesn't really look like it's too competitive between these two brackets here, but I can't wait to see this final.
Oh, I mean, 43 points between Rev'd and Next Level is not too much. I mean, we've seen it before where teammates are all riding around the same part of the track. And if something happens in front of them, that could take them all out easily. So nothing is guaranteed here in this team championship playoff. And I mean, even 70 points for tank racing is it's not unheard of. So I mean, that's why there is nobody advancing yet, because there is still an opportunity for these guys to step up and possibly steal it.
Definitely. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. But you know what? Before we get into the individual championship standings, let's get out there on the track really quick, because I think Brad Herman is out there qualifying already.
Yeah, he's getting his first lap in here. It's only about 0.2 off of what James Kerr has. Only a few drivers out there so far taking laps, but a few of them on that first time by the stripe to get those tires warm. We're going to see some good laps here coming up. Joseph DuPont now jumping up to the pole.
Yep. Now Brad Herman only 4 points above the cut, so he has to have a good race here in order to stay up there with everybody. I don't see any of the other. Actually, Bobby Anderson is getting out there on the track right now.
Yeah, you see there, best finish on the season of 6th. But Bobby is always running up towards the front with the lead pack. Just hasn't gotten that truck there in the end. And, he is always there within grasp. He was in the final 6 last season, as they had an extra guy sneak into the final round after that tie on the cut line. But, yeah, he was within grasp of a championship last season, looking to do the same here this year.
Yeah, well, we're waiting on all these other playoff drivers to get out there on the track to do their laps. Let's take a quick look at the individual standings right now. You can see Bobby Anderson up there in 3rd position. He's quite a few points above the cut line right now. So he's not sitting totally pretty, but he's sitting prettier than most.
Yeah, but for any of these guys, I'd say from 3rd on down to 5th, they've got to be worried. Yes, they've had great seasons all year long. But look at these names that are on the cut line. Michael Madden, below the cut line, Michael Madden, Jonathan Byer, Lucas Lyons, and Kyle Wimble still within striking distance. These are all names that we are very familiar with seeing in the top 5.
Yeah, speaking of Michael Madden, let's jump out there right now. Because I believe he just started his qualifying lap. Yeah, he did. So he is 4 points outside the cut. So he is the one that, in theory, would be in the best position to jump back into that cut line. But somebody in front of him is going to have to mess up to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, right now, we were just talking about that guy that was on the cut line. That's Brad Herman. He so far has the fastest lap in qualifying by a good distance. So we'll see what kind of lap Michael Madden can get down, I'm sure we will be seeing that 15 starting up towards the front. You see it there, 160 laps led on the season. So here we got Landon Cardulo, I believe, in the Ghirardelli Chocolate Toyota Tundra out here starting his first lap. 3 wins on the season, and also a new sponsor on the hood, the Podium Finish. And this is just the thing about those JBR trucks, constantly bringing in those new sponsors. And I wonder why, Sean. They're always running up towards the front.
Oh, I mean, they are always in position to win something, whether it's one or the other. Jonathan Byer out there finishing up his, so we're not going to get a big shot to talk about him here, but keep in mind that one of those sponsors is Glitch Energy, the sponsor of tonight's JBR Challenge.
Yeah, we see him just cooling down now. And another new one on there as well. You mentioned Glitch Energy coming on board with them not too long ago, but want to give a shout out to Tournament Pay. Jonathan's a big bowler, so to get another bowling sponsor on that truck, I know he's thrilled about that.
Oh, absolutely. He's a collegiate bowler, in fact. So
we're all kind of bowlers here. It's kind of weird.
It's kind of strange. Bowling and iRacing really, really go together. So Blair Holloman out there bowling over the competition. He is up in the lead in the point standings because of his win last week at Talladega.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing to have the lead heading into a cutoff race with all of the momentum, and these guys have just been sitting. We've had turkey and shopping and everything in between. We've had vacation days to just sit around and maybe pop a few of those beer of the weeks, and now we have to get back on the rig and get back out there again. Blair's going to be having some good momentum heading into this race. One of these guys, though, looking to pick it up a little bit. He's got a 12-point gap between him and that 5th spot is Lucas Lyons. Yet to get that first win on the season, but a good lap out there, putting him 6th so far. Another one of the guys, Sean Jensen. Sean.
Yep, Sean Jensen has really been consistent all season long. 3 wins on the season. He's only led 61 laps. Think about that for a second. He's won 3 races out of the 18 that we've run, and he's only led 61 laps. So that just means he is a finisher. That's what he does.
Yeah, it was kind of what they used to call Kevin Harvick, Mr. Where did he come from? Just gets there at the end at the right time, whether it's by strategy or just speed. He's got it all, and, he's really had a heck of a rookie season so far this season. So he's about to put in his second and final lap, I do believe. We'll get an idea of where he'll stand on the field, and I'm not really seeing him on a top 20 lap here.
No, so this is his second lap. He is currently next to last on the board. But again, on the second lap, that's where it all comes together because, you're just trying to gain speed on that first lap. Let's see how he comes up here, coming through turns 3 and 4, getting towards that finish line. Let's see if he can break into that top 10.
Yeah, it's a weird track. It kind of is a frustrating track for a lot of people. Yeah, he goes to 8th
there it is.
On that time by. So a very frustrating track where you got to get those tires warmed up because on that first pass through turn 2 up to speed, it honestly feels like you are on ice. And that's for any car, whether it's trucks, Xfinity, or Cup. So it's best to, kind of throw that first lap away. So we're going to see all these fast times come on that second lap. So yeah, we've checked out most of these guys. Yet to see Kyle Wimble out there yet.
We glanced on him. We glanced on him really, really quickly. But yeah, he is out there. But he is the one that has his back to the wall the most. Jacob Zala had equipment failure in the past 2 weeks, so that is why he is basically out. So he will not be able to compete. It looks like our timing's just a little bit off because it seems like qualifying is going to go on for another 2 minutes. So we're gonna float this thing for another 45 seconds past the timer here.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that Kyle Wibble is Kyle Ryan on the scoring for us, so that's why I wasn't seeing him. He's actually starting in the top 10 as well, so a good run by him, but nobody yet really touching Brad Herman's lap. Mike Mosby, though, with a surprising second. We got another thing that we don't usually glance over, Sean, and that's the Tier 2 championship, which is also very important for these guys we're not seeing in this top 10.
Yeah, that's correct. And I do not have the entire Tier 2 on a slide for people to see, but I can go through that where basically right now Kevin Winker is leading the way in that, where we allow all these drivers that did not make the playoffs or were out in the first round of the playoffs to get into a second-tier championship. So they still have something to race for. We want everybody to be able to race for something. And so right now, Kevin Winker, Josh Mueller, and Don Milkowitz are the top three in that second-tier championship.
Yeah, so great thing. That's SRN kind of always puts on for these guys, keep them racing hard out there. And while these guys obviously in the final 10 racing for that big prize. But yeah, Sean, we're about to get this thing kicked off.
I mean, just keep in mind that here on the left side, these are the ones that are inside the cut right now. So Blair Holloman, Landon Cardullo, Bobby Anderson, Sean Jensen, Brad Herman. So all of them are 4 points or more above. Keep in mind that each position is 1 point. We do have bonus points for led laps. We do have bonus points for most laps led, and we do give 3 bonus points for the winner. So you got to keep that in mind. But Blair Holloman being 21 positions ahead of the cut line, when you only have, it looks like we're going to have 33 drivers on the track, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing, but he's also not safe by any means. You know, you mentioned those faster pairs going away after this season. He is going to be loving that and holding on to that tight in case anything does happen. You know, starting 6th, though, hopefully nothing will happen between the guys up towards the front. We should be seeing the hard racing, you know, towards the middle of the pack. So he should be safe up there, but, you know, nothing is guaranteed here in the playoffs.
Well, keep in mind that those numbers are colored for a reason. So the green numbers are the ones that are inside the cut right now. The yellow ones are the ones that are outside the cut right now, and all the red ones are the ones that are not in the full-time playoffs anymore. So Brad Herman, one of our drivers that is inside the cut just barely by 4 points, he is going to be the pole sitter. And then Mike Mosby, just I'm not going to say out of nowhere because he's had some good races in there, but it's interesting to see him beating out some of these playoff drivers.
I mean, Mike Mosby has shown really good speed, and he was in the playoffs not too long ago, I believe. So he has proven his, you know, spot up here in the top 2. But to be up here running with, you see Jonathan Byer there in 3rd and Landon Cardullo in 4th. These guys have been hot all season. JBR getting a ton of wins this year. So that's good for Mike Mosby to be running there in 2nd. And you got Michael Madden, who is going to be trying to hunt down Brad Herman, who sits 4 points behind him. But, you know, his teammate Sean Jensen can't be too calm today, as he is just 5 points ahead of Michael Madden. So Michael Madden's got a lot of people he can reach, and starting 5th is going to be a good way to start off tonight.
Definitely. Now, Blair Holloman, again, he's got the points lead right now, so he is sitting pretty good. In fact, if very, very, very fast math here, if you think about it, if he goes 12th place or better, then he should be locked in. So keep an eye on Blair Holloman to have a good race. But Lucas Lyons is the one to keep an eye on tonight because he is really behind the 8 ball. He is quite a few points out. We're talking 12 points out, which is not impossible, but it's really, really difficult to do. But he's been practicing all week on this thing.
Yeah, Lucas is always running up towards the front, always one of the hungriest drivers out there. So looking forward to see what he can do tonight, maybe getting his first win here in SRN on the season. And then Sean Jensen, that guy that we just spoke of, saying he shows up really late in the races to kind of surprise you and steal a win. He's got 3 on the season. He is in, like I said, not the best shape, just sitting 5 points ahead of his teammate Michael Madden, who's down there in 6th. So that will be 2 drivers we're going to want to watch tonight. Josh Mueller starting in 9th. He's been running up in the top 10 all season. And there's Kyle Wimble, like I said, starting in 10th. He's going to need a great race tonight.
Joseph DuPont there in 11th. He was a playoff driver there for a while. And then Stan Carnathan as well for Next Level Motorsports there in 12th. So interesting race out here. Who you got tonight, man?
Man, I just think Michael Madden is going to be really hungry. He was running up towards the front last year here at Texas for the championship race last season in SRN. I think he's going to be doing the same. He's very hungry and wants to get to that championship 5. Who you got, Sean?
Man, I got to tell you, I love the JBR drivers in this race. Landon Cardullo has been super hot all season long. I really think that he brings home his 4th win of the season here tonight.
2 solid picks. We'll see if they can get it done as the pace car peels off, and we are getting ready to go 90 laps around Texas Motor Speedway with these truckers, and we are green for the cutoff race, Sean. Let's see who makes it.
And Brad Herman gets out to a nice little lead there, just a full truck length there. Jonathan Byer is going to follow him through, and he is going to take that second position on the inside away from Mike Mosby.
Ooh, Landon Cardullo gets really loose right in front of Michael Madden. They save it, stay off of each other. That's going to cost Michael Madden some time, but they both keep those trucks clean, which is huge tonight. Landon going to lose a few spots, falling back to about 9th place, it looks like.
And Jonathan Byer, he is going to keep that bottom line, and he is going to take the lead away from Brad Herman. But on those restarts, on the start of the race restarts, whatever it is, Michael Madden is a superstar on those restarts. So be on the lookout for him as Brad Herman gets a little bit out of shape and goes out to the outside. He's going to lose a couple spots and drop down to 5th position.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about this 85 truck. Seems to be driving a little bit too hard right now. Now he's stuck on that outside lane outside of Lucas Lyons, these two battling for 5th and 6th, and that's only going to heat those tires up even more. You want to be down towards the bottom of this track, so he's going to keep battling though as they head back down to turn 1 on the outside of Lucas Lyons. We'll see if Lucas clears him this time, but there's Kyle Wimble now sneaking his nose in on this race.
Well, that's going on. Mike Mosby on the outside is going to try to take the lead away from Jonathan Byer. He's got a nice run, but Jonathan Byer's got that inside preferred line.
Whoa, they get really close there for a second. You always got to be worried about getting too close as we see that ugly net code show up, but luckily these guys staying off of one another. But here comes Michael Madden now trying to get to the inside of Mike Mosby. He has just raced up to the front in just 4 laps after, I believe, starting 5th. So he's got his nose up to Jonathan Byer's bumper. He's going to be taking a look to the outside. Maybe they go in 3 wide here into turn 3.
And Blair Holloman up there to 2nd, and he's trying to get that last little bit in front of Michael Madden. Not going to pull it off this time around, but he might be able to gain some speed here on this turn.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen at all. I think Michael Madden is going to take this 2nd place spot here in this turn. It's just a better line down here towards the bottom. I don't know if he's going to clear him though, so the 06 still going to be to the outside. And these two are going to be battling here heading into 3. We'll see if 15 can clear him as Mike Mosby is just kind of pulling away from these two now, out to a 0.4 of a second lead. And that's only going to grow if these two continue to race. And here comes Lucas Lyons now getting up here.
Just got a message here, so we're going to go back and check out a quick little wreck replay here, as it looked like Corey Knight back here in the back got into somebody. And he sent me a quick little message that said that his brakes were not registering at all. So it looks like this is probably after. Oh, there it is right there. So yeah, that was before the green. So that was into Jason Kraki. Yeah. So not a good start there for Jason Kraki and Corey Knight. It looks like Corey's going to pull off into the pits. Just some equipment malfunctions there.
Yeah, I mean, lucky for Jason Kraki, he'll be able to get that fixed up. But, you know, Corey Knight's been running really great the last few weeks, so it's really unfortunate to see him go through some equipment failure. But that is racing at its finest. So here we see a race for the lead, though, coming up here as Michael Madden's got the momentum out of 4. He's going to take a look to the inside of Mosby and try to take the lead out of 2. He gets a good run through the middle of that turn. I believe he's going to clear him this time.
Yep, and he will get that first place position. And, you know, we were talking a little bit about Corey Knight there. A lot of people don't realize this, but Corey Knight was the original creator of Mid-South Madness, which morphed into Speed Racing Network. So Corey Knight is technically our founder.
He is, and that's why we always love seeing him run up towards the front. Unfortunately, not going to be the case tonight. So, yeah. Always give Corey a shout out if you can for giving us this awesome league that has just really turned into 3 amazing series that put on a great show run by the one and only Sean Griffin.
Well, I mean, what can I say, man? I mean, so
making you blush.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. I'm glad there's not a camera on me right now.
Aww.
So, going back a little bit, you got Brad Herman, who seems to have found his way. He is going to sit there stable in 5th place for a little while. Jonathan Byer is sitting there trying to get past him, but it looks like Brad Herman has finally kind of figured this thing out.
Yeah, you know, Brad is falling only back to 5th. It's not a bad spot to be in. You can see these guys just in front of him, so it's not like they're getting away. He's just saving his stuff. And, you know, we see this a lot at Texas, the long runs. We saw it last year with the trucks. We saw it last year with the Xfinity Series here. And I believe the Cup race was just about green the whole time with not just one caution. So it just promotes really good, clean racing. So he's just keeping these guys within distance and just kind of riding along right now, because he'll start to feel that change in tires, and you'll see these guys start slowing up if they've been burning it up. Around lap 20, getting a good like 40 to 45 laps on fuel, so about halfway through the run, you'll start seeing them feel the wear on those tires.
You know, that's what's so great about this track is it looks like you can have at least a little bit of movement around. You've got a couple different ways you can get around this track. Obviously, the inside is going to be a little bit faster, but it doesn't prevent you from going side by side with somebody.
Oh, no, absolutely not. You can race all day on the outside. It's just, you know, you got to be careful how long you really do it. And just, you kind of got to keep it in your head. Hey, just, you know, let them go for now, and you'll be back to race a little bit later. It's a long race. It says 90 laps, but, you know, out there in the car, it is a long race for these guys, especially if it starts to look like a green flag type of deal. So I'm really curious to also see, Sean, if this is going to become a one-stop race. I know that would be really pushing it to the limit, but I'm going to be curious to see if anybody's able to do that.
You know, some of these guys that are back here that are kind of catching a little bit of a draft might be able to handle that. Bobby Anderson, one of our biggest movers of the race, he is third place in the playoffs right now, and he is up 6 positions from the start. So the only playoff driver that did not start in the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Bobby Anderson knows what he's doing out there. He was in the Final 5 last year. He's got plenty of time to get this thing figured out. We're only 15 laps in, so yeah. We'll see him move up from 13th, I imagine, here shortly. But moving up to the front, we got another race here. Looks like Blair Holloman getting passed by Brad Herman. Brad Herman now up to 4th, and that's going to open the door potentially for Jonathan Byard. I don't think he's going to be able to get him this time, but Jonathan Byard is going to be looking to stick with that 85. He knows he's fast, and if he can stay with him, he is going to be in contention tonight.
Honestly, it's really a smart move by Blair Holloman. Just let him go by. Take your time. Let Jonathan Byard go by, too. That's okay. You know that you've got a good little point cushion. All you have to do is keep your truck clean tonight. That's all you got to do. And so I think he's making good choices here. He's saving his stuff for later on in the run. I think this is going to work out really well for Blair.
I mean, that's honestly how you can tell the progression of a driver, and really the ones that are going to be the best here in the series. You know you're fast. You got to let them go. If they want to race you like that, then you just let them go and you stay with them, and then you get those spots back as the run goes on, and that just really shows, you know, the different levels of drivers through your course or your career in iRacing. So that just shows Blair Holloman knows what he's doing out there, and I expect to see him racing up here for the lead not too far from now.
Well, 8 of our top 9 drivers are playoff drivers, and 4 of those top 7 are on the outside of the cut looking in. So those 4, including Michael Madden, our leader, they're all doing exactly what they need to do, but they need some of these guys in green to kind of fall off a little bit.
Well, if you look at it, though, Michael Madden is first. Sean Jensen is 9th. So technically, right now, the way it sits, Michael Madden has that 5th spot, and he's taking it from his teammate Sean Jensen, and that just shows you how ruthless these playoffs can be. You don't mean to do it, but you know, you're at the end of the day, you're racing for your individual camp, and Michael Madden is racing for that 15 truck, and he wants to get that truck into that final round of the playoffs, and doing so right now is Sean Jensen back at 9th.
You know, if there's a way to get your teammate into the playoffs, into the final, you know, championship round, then great. But don't do it at your own cost. You know, don't cost yourself that shot in order to push them in there, because you only get one shot at it. And so next week is going to be by far the most fun race we broadcast.
Yeah, it sure is. But you know how close I was to calling you Eminem right there?
I know. I said it, and I heard it, and I was just like, oh, you only get one shot. I want some mom's spaghetti.
One opportunity. You know? Oh, man. But you know what? I didn't even think about it. We were just talking about him. And Bobby Anderson running back there in 13th. Both of these guys would technically be in as Bobby Anderson right now, the odd man out, as he is way off of these about top 7 guys here. Bobby Anderson is going to need to pick up some spots if he's hoping to move on to that final race in Atlanta. As you know, Michael Madden having a great run. Brad Herman still up there in second as well, and Sean Jensen not too bad as he is in ninth. So we'll see. We got to keep track on this 18 truck because this could be where the story's at, Sean.
Yeah, because he has moved up 8 spots. He is the biggest mover of the race. He is trying to crack into the top 10 here as he's about to start battling Josh Mueller. That will put him right back up there behind Sean Jensen. So yeah, this story is not over, but the story is still going on up in front as Lucas Lyons is caught on the outside. Kyle Wimple's going to get that spot on the inside.
Up front, but it's kind of funny how it works out. Sometimes you just put in a bad qualifying lap, start mid-pack or to the back, and that just kind of helps you race a little bit easier, taking care of your stuff. So that is why that 18 is looking very fast right now. Expect to see him up here racing with these guys. Kyle Wimble up to 5th. He is moving up quite a bit too. He started 10th on the night. Like we said, he is the driver though needing a Hail Mary. He is 17 points behind that cutoff line, so he's going to need every position he can get and a little bit of help too.
Well, taking a look back up front, Michael Madden has been caught by our pole sitter Brad Herman. So Brad Herman's truck has come alive, and he is tracking down the leader, and he is right there on his back bumper. We're about to see a good battle here.
Yeah, these two really both aggressive in their own right, so I expect to see Michael Madden kind of defending a little bit, but not too much. Doesn't want to get wrecked, but Brad Herman really going to have to work for that spot. We've seen the 85 move a truck or two here to get to the front, so it's going to be a great battle here between these two guys as Michael Madden still has about a car length or two on the 85 as he is running a great line on 24 lap old tires, but you can definitely tell the 85 and the 66 have the better tires on the track because Jonathan Byer is there too.
Yeah, so those three are really going to be battling hard. Michael Madden and Brad Herman are two of the more aggressive drivers we have. They won't hesitate to pull a bump and run on you in order to get that spot. Most of the time they do that safely. They do a good job of that, but it is aggressive. And so I'm not sure it's going to happen this early in the race, but if these two are 1 and 2 like this, when we get towards the end of the race, there will be bumping.
Oh, for sure, and you would expect that. Every driver would take the initiative if they know they have a faster truck and they want the win. And, I mean, we're talking about racing for $300 too next week. There's a lot on the line here tonight. This is one of the biggest nights of the year here for these guys. Essentially everyone's Daytona 500 here in the sim world. So it seems like the 15 is kind of holding his own, though, as he gets a good little gap on the 85 heading through 3 and 4. Right now, it looks like they're sharing each end of the track. 85 a little bit faster in turns 1 and 2, and then the 15 picks it up in 3 and 4. So really interesting to see here.
Well, this is where Brad Herman has to race smart. So Michael Madden has to go for it in order to get those points to jump into the cut. Jonathan Byer has to go for it to get those points to jump into the cut. Brad Herman just has to finish ahead of the other 4 guys in green. That's all he's got to do. And so right now he's doing a good job of that. So as long as he can make this pass safely, fine, go for the pass. But if you can't make that pass safely, back off, let it go by, because your entire goal, that $30 at the end of this race, or I'm sorry, it's not even that, it's $15. Sorry, so $15 for first place.
You said 30.
Who cares? You know, who cares about $15 when you're talking about $300? So just get into the finals, man. I mean, and I hate saying that because racing, we always want to win the race, but at this point, there's a bigger race to be won.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of last year at Texas and when I was racing there, and you know that was the championship race last year, and we had a caution late in the run, and me and Logan Joyner were racing side by side for a few laps, and it was just like, man, I was like, are we really doing this? I was like, you could just hold on a second, and I'll sail off into the sunlight, get my trophy, and we'll both be happy at the end of the day. So yeah, you're right. It does require a little bit of smart driving now as Michael Madden takes a look to the inside. But yeah, they get really tight here, and this is where that risk is. You easily see 2 trucks spinning through the grass right there, giving that lead to Jonathan Byer and just killing everything that these guys have worked for so far. So it is a nerve-wracking race indeed.
Oh, you know the calculators are going overdrive right now with their pit crews and with their spotters and everything. So, I mean, it's you can hear the calculators clicking away trying to figure out where they are on the points.
You can't worry about that right now. You just got to do the best you can, and at the end of the day, if it works out, you move on, and it's great. But you can't take away from the season that you had. You just got to put in everything you got right now, and you can't be focused on the numbers. You got to be focused on hitting your marks and not hitting anybody. But we're seeing Landon Cardulo
way off the pace.
Yeah, he's fallen back to 8th place.
I wonder if he may have hit the wall. I don't see any visible damage there, but definitely don't want that Ghirardelli's chocolate car doing any damage.
It's a little crinkled on the right side of the
I can see that now, yeah.
Up toward the right front, I think you might see it
a little bit there.
Not too bad, but yeah, definitely killed his momentum, and that's why we saw him way off the pace. That should be able to get fixed. We'll be curious to see if he burns that fast repair on that or just kind of tries to fix it over time. I can't imagine it's more than 10 seconds of optional repairs for the 13, but I mean, he's back to work on those 6 now.
Yeah, the fun part with optional repairs is, you know, it's not that big of a deal unless you can see your water temperatures going up, and then that's when all the damage happens. We do have Lucas Lyons in the pits, and he's in the pits for a while there. Actually, no, that's a regular pit stop. I apologize. I thought it was he had been in there for a little bit longer. But Lucas Lyons into the pits for his pit stop. I think he's going to cut this thing into thirds.
Yeah, that just goes to show you right there that these drivers are not confident that they can make it on halfway. So we'll see if that pulls anybody else down. It's kind of a weird way to think about racing, how long you want to stay out there. But Brad Herman not wanting to.
Whoa, Josh Mueller.
That Josh Mueller get really loose. I'm going to go ahead on a limb here and say he did not get that truck slowed down in time, so he's going to receive a black flag penalty for that. But yeah, it's just a weird scenario to run through your head, how long you want to stay out there, because you're a lot faster on fresh tires. And right now, I know they've got to have at least 7 to 8 laps left in the tank. So it's really, what are you gaining by staying out there? But right now, the 15 and the 66 not wanting to come in. And we've really seen that 66 be really good at pit strategy this year.
Yeah, and I mean, far be it from me to talk about anybody getting into pit road difficulties and stuff like that, as there's another one. There is a video going around on YouTube right now of yours truly slamming into some water barrels after having the lead in a race last night. So fantastic, and so I will never, ever again say, oh, man, he blew pit road, because I know the feeling.
Well, Sean, you can technically say you've led in back-to-back races.
I have.
As we see our leaders come down this time, all of the leaders coming down.
Except for Sean Jensen.
Yeah, Sean Jensen getting that bonus point, which he is going to need every point he can get tonight. So a smart move by that 29 by staying out here.
Yeah, I'm sure he will be coming in very, very shortly. He does have a 5-second lead on Joseph DuPont right now, so I can't see anybody stretching this another 10 laps. I just don't see it, and yeah, he's shifting down to get into pit road as we speak.
Yeah, if there was any possibility of that happening, then we would have seen guys stretch it out a little bit longer until they realized that they couldn't make it to lap 40. Oh, does he see him now? It is a tricky and deceiving pit entry. I will give it that. You just seem like you have a lot more room than you do. Then by the time you get down there, you're sliding on those brakes, locking up. So seeing that a lot tonight. We'll probably continue to see that as these guys will have one more pit stop, splitting it into third. So look for that around maybe lap 60 to 65.
Well, Brad Herman will retake the lead once again, as he is going to come around the front stretch and pass all these guys on pit road. So Brad Herman will be your leader, and Michael Madden on 2-lap fresher tires will be in second place, 3 seconds behind. I'm not sure if 2-lap fresher is equal to 3 seconds though.
I mean, we'll see how it works out. I'm going to be curious to know myself, as I have an important race tomorrow in the Xfinity Series, so I'm curious to see it. But I mean, Michael Madden already picking up a little bit of time, down to 2.8 seconds. It might take him a little while to catch up there, but I have a feeling he's going to tick away at that lead, and he might be able to get back up to that 85. We'll see.
I do know that times down pit lane as a total, Michael Madden was 1 second slower than Brad Herman there. So Brad Herman with a fantastic pit stop and a fantastic stop. In fact, Brad Herman was the fastest down pit road by almost a second over anybody.
And that's just almost free time, essentially. Just hitting your marks on pit road can just gain so much time for you. It's absolutely insane to me that some of these guys, not going to name any names because I don't know names specifically, but I know a lot of people in the sim world that don't practice their pit entries and exit, and there is a ton of time to gain by doing so. So great move by Brad Herman by absolutely nailing that pit stop and getting himself out to a decent-sized lead. He can kind of just sail along here as Michael Madden still 2.5 seconds back.
Yeah, and so while we were watching Brad Herman, let's go back and see where everybody ended up after this pit stop. Let's start back towards the back, not really towards the back, towards the middle of the pack. Bobby Anderson now making a pass for 10th position, so now all of our playoff drivers are in the top 10.
Yeah, this is huge. Bobby Anderson knows he has to go. He is not safe by any means, sitting about 6 points off of that cut line right now. He is still technically ahead of Michael Madden, but if so, by only a point. Actually, with Michael Madden having that bonus point, in my head, and I'm not the best at math, Sean, you know this, but I'm thinking they're close to tied for that cutoff spot. So that is going to be also good news for Sean Jensen as he, after that pit stop, moves up to 6. So another truck that really did well on pit road, picking up a few spots.
Yeah, I'm doing some really quick math here as well, just kind of going through the list and seeing where people are sitting right now, and I'm just trying to see where everybody would be at. So I apologize if I'm just a
if I could only run like a filter over this race right now of all the numbers on the screen, you know, like that GIF.
Yeah,
I just would love to run that right now. Just the numbers going through Sean's head. And he does great work, and he's going to get us a live update here shortly to give you guys a good idea of what that cutoff line is looking like. So right now, that lead down to 2.2 seconds. Michael Madden is coming. So we'll see just how long those fresher tires pay off for the 15. Jonathan Byer still in third, but he finds himself 5 seconds back of the lead. These guys were all running together 1, 2, 3 before that round of pit stops, and Jonathan Byer now 5 seconds off the pace. And then Lucas Lyons right behind Byer, running in 4th place. And then Mike Mosby, who started 2nd on the night, is going to round out the top 5. So that just goes to show you the absolute killer stop that the 85 had. He separated himself from this whole field.
Okay, and so, again, very, very rough math, and obviously positions are changing constantly out there. But based on where we were about 30 seconds ago, if it ended exactly that way, then everybody in the top 5 would still be in, and Michael Madden would actually get in on a tie. And so
I'm good at math.
I mean, this could be unreal towards the end because we might not have a playoff 5. We might end up with a playoff 6.
Yeah, we did it last season. Why not do it again here in the trucks? It just shows the tight level of competition that we have here amongst all the ranks. It's been a crazy year. I believe we've had, 14 to 15 different drivers in the Xfinity Series, a bunch of different new winners in the Cup Series, and all these new names in the Truck Series just really flexing some muscle this year and just bringing a great talent pool to this league. And now look at that. It's all coming down to 1 point or maybe even a tie at the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come down to the wire here. We're going to have to see where everybody ends up at the end of this thing, obviously. But I'll tell you right now that there are a lot of drivers out there that are struggling. Everybody from 26 on back is actually a lap or more down as we speak. And there's a big cluster here.
Yeah, this is a dicey moment for these guys because the 29 and the 99 are racing for position here. Sean Jensen trying to move up to 5th as he gets by the 99, bringing Landon Cardulo in behind him as well. And he's just got Lucas Lyons right in front of him as well. That's 4th place. Sean knows, even though he's had a fantastic season, he needs to get every point he can. So he stayed out for that lap that he led and got that extra bonus point. Now finds himself moving up to 4th on those fresher tires.
Well, and the car that's in front here, the multicolored car here, that is Jason Kraki. Remember, there was big damage on him because Corey and I got into the back of him because some equipment failure. So he came in, used his fast repair, and now he is actually competing up here with these guys, although he is a few laps down already.
Yeah, that 54 truck has been fast all year. So, yeah, having to spend a little bit of extra time in the pits and being a little bit slower with that damage that he got from Corey Knight's equipment failure. It's kind of put a damper on his night, but hey, it's fun to run up here with the leaders, get a little bit of face time on that beautiful truck, multicolored truck out there for Bobby Anderson Racing. So he's just kind of giving the boss a little bit of a report of what's going on up here as Bobby Anderson looks to move his way closer up to the front, still back there in 10th, but kind of closing in on these guys running about 6th through 8th.
Yeah, he's just inching closer and closer up there. But right now, if, like I said, he would still be in according to my very, very quick math. And so he's doing exactly what he needs to do. It was probably a big scare for him starting off in 19th while everybody else started off in the top 10. But he is making his way up really well.
Yeah, I mean, he got to that final round last year. He knows what it takes. He knows how to be calm in this race, and he's getting it done right now. He's doing everything he needs to, and now we're over halfway point, or over the halfway point of this race. He's going to be starting to count down these laps and maybe try to take advantage of a short pit or something to maybe pick up a few more spots for him in that 18. But right now, we're watching Mike Mosby, Lucas Lyons. Looks like Mike Mosby going to move by the 7 of Lucas Lyons. So that puts Lucas back to 8th, and he is another one of those drivers needing a great run tonight who is sitting 12 points off the cut line. So right now, not enough for that number 7.
Yeah, he is pushing as hard as he possibly can, but again, unless some of these guys in front of him have some damage and fall back in this race, then it's just not going to be enough, unfortunately. And so we'll have to I hate it for him because it's been such a good year for Lucas Lyons.
Yeah, it's just, it's my first year making it in the playoffs as well, and it just kind of changes the whole atmosphere. We've had a great run all year, and then it just kind of ramps up to be a little more serious, and one bad race can really kill your momentum and the confidence you have that you've had all season. And I'm not sure if that's what Lucas is going through or not, because we've seen him be really fast in that 7 running up towards the front, but unfortunately not putting together the second round that he needed in the playoffs. But he's puts a lot of pressure on himself as a rookie here, and he at the end of the day will know that he has had a great run here in the 7. But it's not over. We still got well over 35 laps left in this race, and a pit stop too to boot. So anything can happen, Sean.
Yeah, and I mean, keep in mind, Lucas has not won a race in SRN yet, so he is still searching for that, and he is hungry for it. He really, really wants that win. He's come awfully close a couple times this season. He's got a couple of second-place finishes, but I'm telling you, if he is back next season, which we hope he is, obviously, I really see him in victory lane a couple times next season.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. It reminds me a lot of myself. I helped recruit Lucas to Rev Racing. You see he runs as an independent now and doing great at running as an independent. And I see a lot of myself in him. He puts, like I said, a ton of pressure on himself and gets really hard and down on himself whenever he doesn't get the finish that he wants. But, man, he has a lot of speed, and he knows how to run with these guys. And it's just come back in that second season, and you're just way more confident. You know what to expect in these races, and it's going to pay off for him. And once he gets that first one, we saw happen with Jonathan Byer. What did Jonathan Byer do? I expect the same out of Lucas Lyons.
Definitely. Now, his teammate in another series, Bobby Anderson, just passed him for 9th position. So Bobby Anderson keeps moving forward on his quest to get there. But Lucas Lyons falling back because he was the first one to pit, and so his tires are starting to wear off really hard now.
Yeah, speaking of tires wearing off, might see these 85 tires heating up a little bit because that 15 is only 9/10 of a second back there. He's there. He is going to be on the bumper of that 85 here within the next 3 to 4 laps and racing for that lead. So Michael Madden hoping this thing stays green as they still have 5 seconds on Jonathan Byer. So Jonathan Byer not really picking up any time on these guys after that whole 15 to 20 lap run.
Now, really quickly, let's jump back here to Kevin Winker. Again, he was leading the second-tier playoffs coming into this week. So he is still racing for some stuff out there for some money in that second-tier playoff. So he is not going to just roll over and die on anybody here. But also the same time, Josh Mueller back here in 25th position. he is doing the same thing. We saw him have some trouble on pit road a little bit earlier, and so he is a lap down at this point because of that trouble. But these guys are still out there racing. They're not just going to let these playoff drivers go.
Yeah, and I mean, we've had a big break here. We were off for, 10 days, so we've been wanting to get back on the sticks here and get out there on the track. But when you were watching that 42, it looked like he had some significant right side damage because, I mean, he was running the top 10 not too long ago and steadily falling back. So that's going to tighten up that Tier 2 championship with the rest of those guys. But, yeah, the big race here is right now watching Bobby Anderson, see if he can climb up. If he keeps climbing up, that is not what Michael Madden wants to see. That is going to, I believe, kick Michael Madden out of the top 5 now as Bobby Anderson has moved up to 9th, like you said. So I believe he has a point on that 15. So Michael Madden going to need to get in first place and win this race to possibly move on.
Yeah, those 3 bonus points for winning the race are huge for Michael Madden right now. That could be the difference between making it in 5th and being a couple points out. So yeah, he has got to get on the move, and he is doing a good job of it. He is catching Brad Herman. He is within 0.7 of a second now. So slowly but surely catching up to Brad Herman, but we're about to get into green flag pit stops once again. Question is, who comes in first, Brad Herman or Michael Madden?
Well, that's what I was going to say is I don't think it was really a win for Michael Madden as these guys were bumper to bumper before they pitted, and now around the same time, he's 0.6 of a second back. So I don't think he's going to want to pull this same strategy, staying out as long as he did after the 85 pits, because he's going to run out of time potentially to catch that 85 and win this race. So I expect to see them kind of come down at the same time this time.
I mean, the other thing is very, very tricky pit road here. You've got to hit your marks, and I know that better than anybody, but you've got to hit your marks here because, again, Michael Madden lost time on pit road driving down pit lane. He lost a second of time, which is it would put him in the lead right now had he not lost that second. And so you've really, really got to hit your marks getting into the pits as well as going down pit road.
Yeah, but at this point, you kind of got to do everything the same way you did. You don't want to make any adjustments and overstep on anything and potentially ruin your chance of moving on. So I expect to see him kind of try and take it safe coming down pit road and not lock it up like a lot of these guys are heading in. And like you saw Josh Mueller getting that speeding penalty. Look where he is now. He's back running in 25th or 26th. They get really close right there. Really dicey moment for both of them. You guys saw that truck wiggle on the 85, and the 15 kind of let off a little bit, but he's letting him know he's there. He wants that lead.
Yeah, this gets really, really scary for Brad Herman especially, because if he gets on the brakes a little bit too hard going into the pits and Michael Madden goes in at the same time, then he could get rear-ended by Michael Madden here. And so that could cause some damage and cause a spin out on pit road, which you just can't recover from on a green flag race.
Yeah, it is a little bit nerve-wracking. You expect that they kind of will know where your braking points are, but it's not always the case for everybody. Some people, like I said, don't really practice, but I expect these guys both practice their pit entries here. So I know Michael Madden, if that was the case, would kind of be weary of that and be expecting to be a little more careful on the brakes there to not run into them. This is a big-time race here, but he knows that he's got to get that win right now.
We are just waiting to see which one is going to be the first one to drop into pit road. And now they're catching up to even more lap traffic. I believe
Ferguson.
That's Ferguson, yeah. And I love his Monsters Incorporated paint scheme. I absolutely love it. Big fan. Love having Sully up there, Mike Wazowski on the side. Definitely a fan favorite.
Of course. And my girlfriend is
Michael Madden
a huge fan of that movie, so I love seeing that paint out there. But yeah, Michael Madden going to be the first one to come down this time, and I don't think it's a bad move at all. 25 laps left in this race. That is a good amount of time to keep those tires fresh, and that's going to give him the lead too over Brad Herman. I expect to see this 85 come down this time.
Yeah, I agree, and yep, he is shifting down. There he goes. Definitely. Once he saw Michael Madden in there, he could not risk staying out there another lap. Now, Jonathan Byer going to pick up a bonus point leading that lap, so that may help Jonathan Byer's cause possibly if stuff happens out there. But as it sits right now, These top 5 drivers are just too good.
Yeah, Jonathan Byer, the odd man out right now after having an amazing season here in the Truck Series, but gonna need some help. He's gonna need some bad breaks by some people potentially to get him into that top 5. Gonna see if he stays out. He's gonna stay out this time, potentially hoping to get that big break. You never know if he gets that lucky caution and a bunch of the field is down a lap. So it has worked for him in the past, Sean, and we could be seeing the same thing here again tonight. Not a bad move by the 66.
Again, Brad Herman 2/10 faster down pit lane than Michael Madden. I don't know what he's doing on pit lane that just makes him so incredibly fast, but you can see the gap there now. Brad Herman getting caught here by Michael Madden on the outside, but he also has 1 lap fresher tires. That may come into play here shortly.
He tried to defend that inside line, and it just didn't matter as the 15 had enough momentum to get by him on the high side of 3 and 4. Now going to have to do everything he can to pass Michael Madden within 23 laps. So we'll be watching that closely. But Bobby Anderson coming down pit road. He is the guy we're paying attention to the most, sitting there on the cut line. Jonathan Byer, though, I have to imagine we will see him run that thing out of field. Oh, he's coming down this time.
He's coming down. He is coming down. And so is Sean Jensen. Sean Jensen, ooh, coming in way hot. Oh, that's gonna, I don't know, man.
I just don't know. If he gets the penalty. This is a guy that's sitting 5 points off of that cut line. We will pay attention to see if he did get penalized for that. So if not, he had a heck of an entry, though, and picked up a lot of time here on the 29.
Well, Blair Holloman leading this race now. He's going to get the bonus point for leading. And he might be the one that just, I was going to say runs a drive, but no, he's coming into.
No penalty for the 29. He had a very quick pit stop. He will be back out there after a 13.9 second pit stop.
Wow. Oh, what a great pit stop if that holds up. So amazing. So Blair Holloman into the pits. James Kerr now leads this race in the 75.
This truck season coming down to 20 laps to go here before we figure out our final 5, Sean. And not a caution to speak of here. A lot of the same what we saw last year. Like I said, this track boding great racing here in the Truck Series.
I mean, seriously incredible race, and these truck drivers have gotten better and better every single week. Talladega, the reason it was such a mess a couple of weeks ago was because there were no cautions. Everybody was expecting the caution to come out. They all had different strategies going on. None of the strategies worked because there were no cautions, and to not have a big caution at Talladega is just insane.
It is kind of crazy to think of, but it is possible, and we saw that with these guys as we see Brad Herman got the stripe a little bit there, throwing his truck up a little bit and kind of making it tight for that exit off of 2. So not what he's going to be wanting to do, is it's going to wear those tires out a little more, and that's why we see the 15 stretch it out a little bit. But this is the race here. This is a big race for the 15 because right now I'm not seeing Bobby Anderson inside that top 10. He's back in 13th position. Oh, excuse me, my scoring had not updated yet. It looks like he's running 11th according to your scoring, Sean, so we'll go with that.
I mean, so while all that's going on, I want you to keep this in mind. Michael Madden, let's say he wins the race. That is 43 points. He led a lap. That is 44 points. Brad Herman has led the most laps so far, and he comes in second. So that's 39 points, plus he led a lap and the most laps, so that's 2 bonus points. So you're talking, what, 44 bonus point, or 44 points for Madden, 41 for Brad Herman. Madden is 4 points behind Brad Herman. That would only make up 3 spots.
Yeah, but you're looking at Bobby Anderson sitting back there in 10th. That's what we're looking at with those two only being separated by 10 points. He's going to need every one of those points if he expects to get past that 18. So that's why we're watching him battle so hard right now with the 85, who is now taking the lead from Michael Madden.
So many good battles out there. But this battle for the lead, I mean, this is Michael Madden's entire season here on the line, basically. If Brad Herman wins this race, I just don't see Michael Madden getting into the playoffs unless something big happens behind him.
It's going to be tough to make this pass. He's going to have to tuck in behind the 85 and try to make a move like we saw him do after that last pit stop. He's got to cool those tires down. He can't really burn up all the stuff, as there's still plenty of time left in this race. 16 laps to go after they cross the stripe that time. Still plenty of time to work on him as he's taking a look here, maybe a different line to try and get the run off of 2 on the inside of that E5. Not able to do so this time, but hey, we've seen these guys get aggressive with drivers before. Michael Madden knows how to move people out of the way if he needs to, and to get into the final 5, I think that that's going to be an excuse well worth it.
Out there in the YouTube chat, Rob Yost says that speeding penalties are no good, and so it sounds like he caught a speeding penalty going down pit road. So, big tight battle.
Pay attention here. That was a big block there by the 85 to cover the inside there, and I could tell just by the driving, Michael Madden did not like that one bit. So the 85 now needs to be careful to not really to make any enemies out there here with 15 laps before clinching a spot into the final 5. Maybe you might want to let this 15 go, because I think if that's the case, then they both will advance.
See, I don't know. Again, I don't know how good the Michael Madden calculator is right now, to where all these changes that are going on all concurrently. It's so hard to figure that out. The only thing that Michael Madden can think right now is, I have to win this race.
Oh yeah, that's the eyes on the eyes on the prize mentality, and that's going through his head for sure right now. I mean, he has that mentality, whether it's to get into a championship race or not. He wants to win every time he's out there on the track, but right now even hungrier, as he knows he needs every point. As Bobby Anderson now up to 8th place, looks like that is probably where he's going to settle in, as he is 3 seconds off of Mike Mosby there in 7th. So this battle is huge for that 15 if he wants to make a move and jump into the top 5.
Yeah, Blair Holloman back here in 13th. I still think that he's relatively safe with everything that's going on up in front. You just never know until the very, very last lap, but I think he's okay if he sits there in 13th. Go ahead and get up in 12th, help your cause out there a little bit. But Bobby Anderson up in 8th place right now. So, again, he was 10 points above the cut coming into this thing. So, 8th place right now, I think that gets him in.
Yeah, right now, Mike Mosby is our contender here for that Glitch Energy starter pack that goes to the highest finishing non-playoff driver out there. So, the 99 has a good bit of distance between him and the 88 of Joseph DuPont. So, he might be getting a little bit of something in the mail from Glitch Energy. So super cool to see that. And once again, thanks to Jonathan Meyer Racing for putting that on here at Texas this week.
Oh, definitely. We love seeing all these sponsors really stepping up and doing some fun things, and really cannot wait until Season 3 because I believe we've got some good sponsors coming on board, some of the same sponsors that we have this season coming back. So if you are interested in sponsoring the broadcast, if you're interested in sponsoring an award throughout the season, whatever it is, definitely get in contact with myself, Greg Olinick, or Jason Tripp, and we can help you figure out what to sponsor and how much that will cost to do that. But pretty good exposure out here.
Yeah, we love all of our sponsors, and it's just super cool getting to promote them and all the great business and work that they do for their communities. So yeah, for sure, if you're interested, get a hold of one of us, and we will get you all set up, and it's going to be an awesome season next year. We're always making improvements here at Speed Racing Network, and it's really showing out there on the track, especially tonight here at Texas in the Truck Series. Down to 9 laps to go. Our leader has a little bit of lap traffic here. Cody Riggs down there in the 12, about to go a lap down from Brad Herman here, but Michael Madden falling a little bit off the pace, now 7/10 of a second back and falling.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's going to be enough for Michael Madden. We'll have to do the math after the race. But Brad Herman has really put on a show here tonight, leading most of the laps out here. But it's been a close battle for the most part all night long.
Yeah, it's been a great race. I mean, he got out to that big lead after that amazing first pit stop that got him a little bit of distance, but then Michael Madden caught back up to him. And this time we saw it flip-flop. We saw Michael Madden pit first, and Brad Herman just had another amazing pit stop again and got him right out behind the 15. And with the fresher tires, it was really hard for Michael Madden to hold on, but we'll see if he's able to get up there, maybe trying to cool these tires off and get a little bit of more grip out of it as he's making a move on one of those lap trucks. He's got 2 between him and Brad Herman, now a second back.
He's going to get to the inside of Andrew Harris, but with 6 laps to go, and now it's over a second. So it just went from 0.05 of a second down to up to over a second difference between himself and Brad Herman. And Brad Herman has the fresher tires also. So that's a tough spot to be in.
And that's why it's just one of the more frustrating 1.5-mile tracks out there. It's just people, who really don't run the track often are apt to burning their tires up a little bit faster. And it doesn't feel like you're doing it out there, but you are. And that's what we're seeing now is Michael Madden back to a 2.5, and Brad Herman just pulling away. So he is going to be smooth sailing if this thing stays green. But, yeah, that is why I'm always surprised to hear it, as it's my favorite 1.5 mile. But, yeah, a lot of people don't like this track.
Oh, no, I absolutely love this track. This is a great track to be at. And next week, going to another great track, another great 1.5 miles.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled. That's my least favorite one, although it's my favorite to go to in person. It was a great race this year when Kurt Busch won, but I'm going to need to be putting in some practice there at Atlanta. It feels like you're driving on ice the whole time, and it's kind of crazy. You look at the tracks, and they all look the same, but you drive them, and they all just feel completely different. So we're going to be going from 1.5 miles to another next week for our championship race, and it's going to be a whole different race.
Yeah, it is going to be a whole new ball game, and 5 of these drivers, maybe 6, depends on how the points work out, but 5 of these drivers are going to be going for $300, while everybody else is still going for that second-tier championship or the 6th, 7th, and 8th place as well. So all sorts of money on the line next week. I really, really hope that the Speed Racing Network bank account can handle all the payouts.
Yeah, they're going to have to get the checkbook out and start handing out those big checks to the championship drivers. But right now, Brad Herman making a championship push down to 2 laps to go. 2-second lead on Michael Madden and just growing. If this thing stays green, he is going to come away with the win and a spot in the final 5.
He is probably really amped up in there right now to know that he's got that spot in hand after only being 4 points above the cut line. Now we have to look at Blair Holloman back here in 13th place. And so we were saying a little bit earlier, with 33 drivers that registered here, I'm thinking that you'd have to be, 12th or 13th to lock yourself in, and he's right there on that line. So
I think he's fine. I think he's okay. You're just stressing out, Sean. But I think he's good to go. But we'll find out for sure after this race is over. Brad Herman coming through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Started the year late. Came back to SRN after leaving in his first season. Comes back and wins his race at Texas and locks himself in to that final 5 round in Atlanta.
And now we just have to get to the mathematicians and let them figure it all out. But Brad Herman 100% in. We know that for a fact. I believe Sean Jensen will be in without a doubt. Landon Cardulo without a doubt. Then we have to look at, I believe Bobby Anderson will be in because he was in the top 10. So I think he'll be fine. Blair Holloman might be in. So we'll just have to see how close to the cut line Michael Madden is if he's not directly on it.
Yeah, I'll let you get to work on those numbers. I know you got a lot of work at hand, but you're great at doing it. You got your Excel sheet all busted out. I know you're ready to go, so you're going to give those to us by the end of this broadcast. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at Brad Herman celebrating here in Texas. It's got to be a great feeling to get that win and know that he is into the final 5. He came into this race in 5th place, 4 points above that cut line. He got all the points that were up for grabs out there tonight, so he is definitely going to that final round as you see his teammate Brad Rivers trying to get in on the celebration. Great run for Next Level Motorsports here tonight. But let's go ahead and get you that top 20 rundown. Brad Herman coming home in first. Michael Madden going to come home in second. Those two battled together all night. Jonathan Byer going to round out our podium here tonight in third. Landon Cardulo, his teammate, coming home in 4th. Sean Jensen with a great run that he needed, coming home in 5th place tonight. Kyle Wimble needed that Hail Mary race. He had a great race nonetheless, coming home in 6th place. Mike Mosby, after starting on the front row, finishes 7th and gets himself that Glitch starter pack, that Glitch Energy starter pack, that we talked about, going to the highest finishing non-playoff driver. Bobby Anderson coming home in 8th. Joseph DuPont coming home in 9th place, and Stan Carnathan rounding out the top 10. Going down the list a little bit more, Dom Milkowicz in 11th, Lucas Lyons 12th, Anthony Pritchett in 13th, Blair Holloman in 14th, Michael York in 15th, Jack Johnson coming home in 16th place tonight, Bradley Rivers in 17th, Kevin Winker, our Tier 2 leader, coming home in 18th, Cody Riggs in 19th, and Andrew Harris rounding out our top 20. So let's go ahead and see if we can get Jonathan Byer up here to the broadcast booth. Jonathan, it's just going to be me, Greg Olenek, interviewing you tonight as we have Sean Griffin working on those numbers behind the scenes. Tell us about that 3rd place finish here in your home state of Texas.
It's always good to finish well at the home track. We didn't really get to do that last year. We got caught up in a little stuff early, but I needed a good run tonight for the playoffs. I don't think it's going to be quite enough, but when we have a new sponsor on like I did with Tournament Pay this week, there's nothing better than to get a bunch of screen time and run up front. And so we'll take 3rd place. Our team, we finished 3rd, 4th, and 6th tonight for our top 3. So we locked ourselves into the team championship battle next week, and that's ultimately what we're about.
Yeah, you mentioned, like you said, you're moving on into that final round of the team championship, but you do have a driver that is moving on to the final round. Tell us what it means to get Landon Cardulo into that final round of the playoffs for Jonathan Byer Racing.
It means a lot. New driver to SRN, new driver to us this year. Big team player. We've appreciated having him here. He's an asset to our team. He does everything we ask on and off the track. So we're going to be supporting him and cheering him on. And we're going to do everything we can to help him next week, talk strategy throughout the race and put him in a position to win. And, we're the whole team, we're still racing for that team championship, so we're going to try and go to get all we can get as well. But, no, that means a lot. He's going to be back in the 13 truck again next year. So he's going to be a familiar face, but I still get to give him crap because if we were in a traditional point system, I'd still be the points leader and he would be behind me. But the playoffs, it is what it is. It makes for an exciting events, and we're excited for him.
Yeah, you had a great run this season, and you still get one more race in Atlanta next week. But I know you got a long list of sponsors to go ahead and give a shout out to, and we appreciate you bringing Glitch Energy on board for that highest finishing non-playoff driver tonight, going to Mike Mosby. So appreciate that. But let's go ahead and hear the rest of your sponsors, man.
So Tournament Pay came on with us this year for this race, and they'll be with us a little bit next year as well. I'm a bowler, and they do entry fee processing, things like that. So if anybody needs anything like that, be sure to get in touch, and we can help you out with that. But as you said, Glitch, super grateful that they came on and did what they did, and our partnership is incredible. They'll be back again with us next year. Shoeline.com, Texas Footworks, Texas Rangers Fanatics. The list goes on from there, but we are appreciative for all our sponsors and our partners that have been with us all year. Hopefully we'll get to shout them out again next week at Atlanta. But if we don't, we are grateful for their support, and be tuned in to all the JBR social because we'll be unveiling a lot about what we're doing next year.
Awesome, man. Well, we look forward to seeing that, and congrats again on a 3rd place finish here tonight in Texas. Go have fun celebrating with the team, man.
Thank you, Greg. I'll get to see you run tomorrow night, and I'll get to beat up with Sean in the booth.
All right, buddy. We'll see you then. All right, well, that was Jonathan Byer coming home in 3rd place tonight. Going to get Michael Madden up here now after finishing 2nd place. Michael Madden, it's Greg Olenek. Tell us about that 2nd place run. It looked like you were trying to get that win for everything out there. I think that's what you needed to move on tonight.
Yeah, man, you can't ask for anything more than to put it in your own hands, and it's just disappointing when you fall short. But I gave it a hell of a run. And Brad, we were back and forth the entire race, and I thought pitting that one lap early would give me the track position like it gave him earlier in the race, and unfortunately it just didn't work out. I overcooked my tires, and that was all she wrote.
Yeah, well, a great season nonetheless. You were running up front all year long, running up front again tonight. Expect you to be running up front again next week, but you got any plans you want to go ahead and share for your season next year?
Oh no, it's hopefully to repeat what I did in season one and not have this inconsistent up and down year, as Mr. Domain pointed out a couple weeks ago. So, yeah, Brandon, I don't think I'll ever forget that one, buddy. But yeah, just going to continue and put in the work in the off season. I'm sure there'll be a rev program to do or something like that. We'll stay racing and just we'll come back better than ever.
Yeah, man, I expect to see you running up towards the front, anything you get in. But before we let you go, you got any sponsors, any friends, any family you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to thank all the Rev boys. It was a real up and down season. We stuck together and just, got through a lot of adversity, got thrown our way. Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing. Those guys always had my back throughout everything. And I told Mr. Kosher I'd bring him a championship, but I guess they'll wait for 2022. We still have a little hope with Mr. Jensen. I hope he can pull it out. And just want to thank Silverback Tax Solutions and Long MacArthur Ford for sticking with us through the season. We'll go get it done. You better go get it done tomorrow, sir.
All right, man. I appreciate that, and look forward to seeing what you can do next week as well as next season. But go have fun celebrating with Sean and all the boys. You guys had a great run tonight.
Thank you.
All right, well, that was Michael Madden coming home in second place tonight. Let's see if I can go ahead and find Brad Herman and get him up here to the broadcast booth. Brad Herman, congratulations winning here at Texas Motor Speedway tonight and securing your spot in the Final Five at Atlanta. Tell us how it feels, man, to be racing for that $300.
Oh, it feels good, man. I was a little nervous coming into tonight because I didn't have a great Talladega race, but this is one of my favorite tracks, so I managed to pull off a win, and we're in.
Yeah, you sure did, and it's one of my favorite tracks too, so it always feels good when you do that at the ones you love. But man, it's been a crazy season. You had 2 wins coming into this year, now up to 3. Worked hard all year long with a new team coming into the season late. What's it been to get that consistency at the right time in the playoffs?
Yeah, I definitely peaked at the right time. Haven't had the best playoff run. I'm definitely good, but there's definitely spots I could have done better, and hopefully I get those smoothed out for Atlanta.
Yeah, well, we expect to see that 85 running up towards the front next week, running for that $300. Have all the momentum heading into the championship race, so that has to feel good. But before we let you go, you got any friends, any family, any sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
Just got to thank Michael York and James Holzer for running Next Level and just having a great team all around. Got to thank TJ's team for being on board the whole season and everything he does for me, and Michael Kinsley for the paint jobs.
Yeah, man, that paint is looking good every week, running up towards the front. We'll see if you can do it one more week next week in Atlanta. So we look forward to seeing how you do then. But go have fun celebrating with your teams for that 3rd win of the season, man. Congratulations.
You betcha. Thanks, guys.
All right, Sean. Well, that was our winner, Brad Herman. Do you got those points done? I'm seeing a little message in my inbox here. I believe that is them.
I do. Let's go step by step through this thing. Let's start off with Landon Cardulo. He is in, and he is your point basically winner. Everybody's going to start on even keel next week, but Landon Cardulo, your first one that made it through. Second, there was actually a tie there. Blair Holloman tied with tonight's winner, Brad Herman. And so both of them are in to the playoff championship next week, and you can see that one right there as well. Then we've got Bobby Anderson, who started off 19th, came all the way back up, finished 8th, did exactly what he needed to do to get into that championship race. And finally, there on the cut line, Sean Jensick will make it in 2 points ahead of Michael Madden.
We're going to have to get a clearer picture of this guy if we're going to be seeing his picture all over the place.
100% agree, but there are your playoff standings.
This is wild to look at. I was just going and looking at this as you were naming them off. 10 points separated from 1st to 5th, with that cutoff being 6th place, 2 points off of the cut. So Michael Madden, if he had won this race, would have pushed his teammate out of the top 5. So that is what it came down to right there. And that is just crazy. And I spoke on that being just the talent that we see here in the Truck Series and just how close it is.
Well, so get ready, man, because those top 5, they're going to get even closer as we reset the points and head off to Atlanta Motor Speedway for the big finish, 135. You can't title a race any better than that.
Yeah, and I don't care what you've raced in your life, how long you've raced it. Any championship race is going to come with some serious nerves, and these guys are going to be feeling it next week at Atlanta Motor Speedway for 135 miles of action out there. It is going to be a doozy. Make sure you catch that Wednesday, December 8th, 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern.
And once again, next broadcast tomorrow night. Don't miss it, as Greg Olenek is the cut line going into this race. And Greg loves this track. I really think he's going to do well in this thing. I don't want to put any curses on you or nothing like that, buddy, but go and make us proud.
Oh, man, I've already probably ruined myself just because I love this track, and I'm looking forward to getting out there. I've had a little bit of tiny surgery that's held me back from practicing, but I was able to get out there a couple days ago, and it felt really good. So I'm looking forward to being out there with the rest of the boys tomorrow night. It's going to be a great one as we figure out the final 5 for the Xfinity Series. You can catch that, like you said, Thursday, December 2nd. That's tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah, I use a word way too much on this broadcast, and it's epic. And I really think that this race tomorrow night is going to be epic. I really think that next week at Atlanta is going to be an absolutely insane race, and we are going to crown a playoff champion and give out a lot of money next week. So do not miss out next week. Do not miss out on our next broadcast tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't miss Speed Racing Network, so like, subscribe, be sure that you get our notifications that we are going live 3 times a week here. But for now, we're going to let everybody go. But hey, always remember to go faster.